Oversight and Government Reform Committee and apologized for comments he made concerning, quote, the stupidity of the American voter, helping Congress pass the health care law back in 2009. Gruber said his comments were, quote, insulting and mean. Congressman Trey Gowdy took an apologetic Gruber to task, asking, quote, which one are you sorry for, because you said it or because you meant it? Even Democrat Elijah Cummings admonished Gruber for his remarks. Gruber went on to emphasize that his comments should not undermine the law, saying, I behaved badly, but my own inexcusable arrogance is not a flaw in the Affordable Care Act. Gruber appeared before the committee after several videos featuring him referring to using the stupidity of the American voter to pass the law surfaced online. The current Congress is set to wrap up its business this Friday, the same day the current spending bill expires. According to IJ Review, a new spending bill is set for a vote, and it is a $1.14 trillion, quote, cromnibus bill, a mashup of continuing resolution and omnibus spending bills. Many watchdog organizations are watching the bill closely, and Nancy Pelosi warned Republicans that Democrats would not accept any destructive riders to the bill. Given that Senate Democrats will not have much influence in the next 2 years, we can expect a fight as this bill works its way through the House and Senate. Shirley Cornett, a 74-year-old pawn shop owner in Springdale, Arkansas, foiled a robbery attempt when she used her own gun to shoot one of 2 suspects in the arm on Tuesday. According to IJ Review, the police report says 2 suspects armed with semi-automatic pistols entered the store wearing hoodies, split up, and began to rob the facility. After being shot by Cornett, the suspects fled the store. One of the suspects, Marcus Gould, age 25, was later found at an area hospital. His alleged accomplice, 20-year-old Leon Robinson, was detained by police after he returned to the hospital to check on Gould. After obtaining a warrant, officers searched the suspect's vehicle and found the weapons used in the attempted robbery, as well as clothing, a duffel bag, and a stolen bracelet from the store. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge paid their respects at the 9/11 memorial during their trip to New York. After leaving the museum Tuesday morning, they placed a bouquet of flowers at the Flight 93 memorial plaque with a note that read, quote, in sorrowful memory of those who died on the 11th September and in admiration of the courage shown to rebuild. A picture of the bouquet and note were posted to Instagram by the British consulate in New York. And former White House correspondent Ann Compton gave an interview in which she reveals witnessing President Obama going on a, quote, profanity-laced tirade against the White House press corps. Compton says, quote, I have seen in the last year Barack Obama really angry twice. Both were off-the-record times. One, a profanity-laced, where he thought the press was making too much of scandals that he did not think were scandals. Compton went on to call the Obama administration the most opaque she had covered in her 40 years as a journalist. This has been Amy Curtis with your Vigilant Liberty Radio News for December 10th.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the final half hour of the Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Howsam. Howsam, I want to get back to Gowdy. I mean, I think it's fair to say every time we put up a post on IJR, and by the way, if we haven't mentioned it at least once today, Michael and I both write for Independent Journal Review. That's ijreview.com. Most of everything that we talk about, including this post that I put up this morning on Gowdy, I actually put it up last night. You can hear the whole clips, generally, the YouTubes, there are multiple links and stuff. But, dude, Gowdy just absolutely barbecued Gruber yesterday.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? Let's play this. I mean,
when you said
I did one the other day with Gowdy with that racial thing. And it's almost like every single thing he has to say is worthy for at least a listen, if not analysis.
And he just, you know, there could not have been a better prosecutor in the country. He's like a boa constrictor, man. I mean, he's got it all figured out, and he just slightly tightens the noose.
Yeah, let's play this. Go ahead and so do you want to set it up, or do you want to just go?
Well, no, I mean, just real quickly, we talked about this yesterday. When Gruber showed up at the before the House committee, he was skewered, some of it political by the Democrats. Well, I mean, Levin would have it, all of it political, but we knew, those of us who pay attention to these sorts of things, that sooner or later it was going to be Trey Gowdy's turn, and that is damn near pay-per-view TV. So let's listen, Just.
When you said they proposed it and that passed because the American people are too stupid to understand the difference.
When I said that, I was at an academic conference being glib and quite frankly trying to make myself seem smart by insulting others.
Are you offering the venue as a defense for saying it or for meaning it?
I'm offering it as a defense for using inappropriate and hurtful and inexcusable language to express.
Well, what did you mean by too stupid to understand the difference?
Congressman, I didn't mean anything by it.
Well, you said it. You had to admit it.
I was once again being glib and trying to make myself seem smarter by reflecting.
Well, what did you mean when you said it was a very basic exploitation of the lack of economic understanding of the American voter? What did you mean by that?
Once again, it's another example of my inexcusable arrogance in trying to insult others to make myself seem smarter.
Well, what did you mean when you said the American people don't care about the uninsured?
Once again, that was an overstatement of trying to conjecture on political topics in which I'm not an expert.
Well, you know what, Professor Gruber, I have listened to you all morning talk about your lack of political acumen and that you're not a politician, so therefore you don't know not to call people stupid. Most of the people watching this morning aren't politicians, and they don't call people stupid. And I can't help but note, Professor Gruber, and another one of your quotes, which I'll read to you, that was politically infeasible. You remember saying that?
Yes.
So you do like to factor in the politics from time to time, don't you? And also happen to note, Professor Gruber, that usually you insult the American voter, not the American public. So you do factor in politics, don't you?
I have tried a number of occasions, pretended that I know more about politics.
Do you think not?
Is that awesome or what? He's just a guy. Oh my God.
I mean, obviously this guy is so far way balanced on the edge of the smallest of all possible trunks of the tree, and is trying to explain how his feet are firmly on the ground, and he's just holding up a mirror saying, really?
And he's the consummate chess player. Listen, a good prosecutor, prosecutor. Two rules: never ask a question that you don't know the answer to, or you know what he's going to say, so you're playing chess in one-sided chess, where you have the next question on deck. And that's what's so awesome about Gowdy. And he asked a classic question we all want to ask anyone who apologizes to us, right, for getting caught doing something wrong, saying something wrong, or whatever. Which one are you apologizing for? Because you said it or because you meant it? And you compare and contrast.
That's such a key point.
And dude, you compare and contrast the arrogant, condescending Gruber in those videos we've seen with the wilted Gruber, who's probably started peeing down his leg about half the way through this thing with Gowdy. All he could muster was, "I didn't mean it." It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. I was so overestimating my importance, and I was mistakenly talking about the American people, and the horror with which I now reflect upon my previously stated positions could not possibly be higher. I wilt at the thought of, parentheses, lack of access to seven-figure payouts for telling people what to do.
That's just hilarious, And here you have this arrogant bastard from MIT, and no dispersion on MIT. He's the East Coaster. I don't know where he grew up, but he's been there long enough to be an arrogant East Coaster. He's dealing with this hick, and I'm doing air quotes, from South Carolina, who's eating his lunch.
Oh, yeah, because you know that in a private room at some point in the past, if the subject of Trey Gowdy came up,
Yeah.
Gruber would dismiss him as unimportant, unsophisticated, unenlightened, and totally out of touch.
Oh, exactly. And you know what? At this point, he's just probably fuming. But you just see him talking to one of his pals. Dude, he destroyed you. You do know that, don't you? So I find that hilarious. Now, listen, let's do another quick follow up because this happened also, and I just find this touching in a few ways. We've all heard the real. No, no, this is real. What are you laughing at?
Just the way you.
Now, see, you think I'm going to be snarky and sarcastic.
Well, I certainly hope so.
No, see, well,
Oh, that was just such a perfect setup.
because that is my MO, right?
Well, I find this to be really touching. I mean, that's the most perfect setup ever. Anyway, I'm sorry to interject.
Let's listen to the clip, and I will allow you to fall on your sword after it's over with. But this is Republican Rep Cynthia Loomis from Wyoming, and she is, Gruber's excuses to Gowdy, as we just heard. I'm glib. I try to be something I'm not. I'm this and I'm that, making excuse after excuse. All of them by rote, by the way, because he's been coached and he's practiced and so forth. So Representative Loomis, it's her turn to talk, and you know what? I'm not going to steal any thunder from her. Let's just listen to what she had to say.
Okay, I'm hopeful to get those trends. I'm going to give you a little story. I'm on Obamacare. My husband was on Obamacare with me, and we were enrolled in Obamacare. And then when we filed claims, we were told we were not enrolled in Obamacare. And then we got it straightened out, and he filed claims, and we were told once again that we were not on Obamacare. Well, come to find out, my husband was having chest pains at the time that he was told we were not enrolled in Obamacare. And come to find out, he didn't have all of the tests that he was advised by his physician to have. So, on October 24th, a week before election, my husband went to sleep and never woke up. He had a massive heart attack in his sleep at age 65, a perfectly, by all appearances, healthy man. Come to find out, in a conversation with his physician after he died, he chose not to have one of the tests, the last test, his doctor told him to have. This happened to coincide with the time that we were told that we were not covered by Obamacare. I'm not telling you that my husband died because of Obamacare. He died because he had a massive heart attack in his sleep. But I am telling you that during the course of time that he was having tests by a physician and was told we were not covered by Obamacare, that he then decided not to have the last test the doctor asked him to have. Let me suggest that there may be a decline in participation and that it may not be to the benefit of the American people. I want to suggest that regardless of what happened to me personally, that there have been so many glitches in the passage of Obamacare that have real life consequences on people's lives. And the so-called glibness that has been referenced today have direct consequences for real American people. So get over your damn glibness.
First of all, I'm sorry.
I thank the gentlelady.
Could I answer?
I don't think she has.
And the pain on this woman's face. She was so distraught. She immediately switched off her mic after she said her last comment about the glibness, and was unable or did not want to even ask a question. And she was asked, and she didn't. But Housam, this is real life stuff. This is not complex micro simulations and all of this nonsense that Gruber smugly talks about. This is going on and has gone on